What's your take on the US imposing a 100% tariff on Chinese EVs? I think it's unreasonable. I don't understand the reasoning behind it. But one thing you can surely consider. If they're adding tariffs, we must be strong, right? It shows we're doing well, not just future potential. Our whole industry is performing well.
Because the product experience and service are excellent, it's not to say we at NIO are the only ones doing well. Others in the industry are also performing well. Tesla, for instance, is truly an outstanding company. They are indeed pioneers in this industry. We've learned a lot from them as well. But what's their main issue? Their iteration process is too slow. Consider the period from 2018 until now. Their cars haven't really progressed much. If any Chinese competitors in our industry showed no progress in 6 years, they'd be left far behind by now. In China, Japanese cars once held over 20% market share. Korean cars peaked at nearly 30% market share. Now combined, they only have about a dozen percent, 14% market share. So now, Chinese companies dominate the domestic market. We want to be like them. We aim to truly achieve over 80% market share. We've already reached over 60% market share. So I think we should learn to let go of these. Now it's mainly Japanese and Korean companies. Korean firms dropped from peak of over 1 million cars to just 300, 400,000 units. They've already declined significantly. I think Toyota has been sweet these past 2 years. Some people mention Nissan. It has indeed declined quite a bit, mainly because their product updates are too slow, not embracing smart tech and electrification. Our Chinese firms are excellent and hardworking. No reason we can't win over Chinese consumers.
So guys, there's a lot to unpack from what the CEO just said. First of all, the tariffs. It is of course the fact that Chinese EVs are absolutely fantastic and they are actually in many aspects better than American ones, and the Americans are worried. All right, they got that double standard, even though American seems to be the country of the free, but you're not actually, you don't have freedom of competitiveness, right? They're more willing to protect their own companies, whereas here in China, you're seeing the opposite. There's freedom for Tesla and Apple to sell as many products as they want, as many products as they can, whereas you don't have that same kind of freedom in the US, which is very, very odd, right? It's very hypocritical, all right? The land of the free isn't so, you don't have that much freedom. Your consumers don't have that freedom. But of course, NIO's rise to success is of course due to their outstanding R&D into their products, making them very, very nice, bucking the trend. Lots of people think that made in China is like low quality, but of course here NIO is the outlier. NIO is the different one. NIO's quality, superb, absolutely a beast. And of course, when it comes to Tesla, of course, Tesla had an early start. They had a lot of time to develop their cars over time. NIO, they started much later on, so NIO had to spend a lot of money to basically catch up and to surpass. So they've used money to do lots of R&D work, do more R&D work than Tesla, so to speak, to basically advance their product to the next level. And they do look up towards Tesla, but of course, you can see that in the high-end market, above 300,000 RMB, NIO has a roughly 40+% market share of the luxury high-end EVs. All right, so that is actually the #1 best sellers in terms of pure EVs, NIO. So of course you can see that NIO CEO really respects Tesla, and they always learn something from Tesla. And Tesla, of course, being the leaders in the industry, they do very well, and there's always more to learn from Tesla and Elon Musk. However, NIO always has their own way of doing things that they think is better, and they try to make it so that it's better. And a lot of consumers are more willing to trust NIO and choose NIO and see the direction that NIO is headed in. Now, of course, when it comes to market share and dominance, NIO has 40% market share in the luxury EV market. A lot of suffering has been happening for traditional Japanese and Korean automakers. They have not been doing too well, and especially Korean automakers, they've already declined quite substantially, and Japanese automakers are also on the decline. Lots of Nissan stores are actually closing down. You're not seeing a lot of Nissan cars on the road here in China. It's becoming quite rare, actually. You do still see Toyotas here and there, but Toyota is gradually being replaced by BYD, a cheap everyday vehicle for you to get from A to B. BYD offers that product. And then when it comes to other brands like Hyundai and those guys, their products are outshined by products like NIO, which have more high-tech features, more capabilities, and more ease of use and better service. So when it comes down to that, you absolutely see that these Japanese automakers, Korean automakers, they're on the decline here in China. And one interesting thing is, on just social media here in China, I've noticed a lot of very high up execs from Nissan have been, essentially sort of fired or let go of because of their decline in sales. They used to go on these lavish business trips and then live in 5-star hotels, but now they're out of a job, and it's all because of this EV revolution that's happening here in China. And embracing smart tech electrification, that is exactly what NIO CEO said. Very, very crucial. A lot of these traditional automakers, they don't have the same type of features you can find on a NIO, such as like auto parking or controlling the car with your phone, all that kind of stuff. So in my opinion, it's kind of like the age of traditional phones being replaced by smartphones, so to speak, right? It's more than just being able to call. It's being able to do much more than just call someone and do a phone call. And with a car, it's starting to become way more than just getting you from A to B, right? You still got to do that well, get you from A to B, but you also have to do so many more features than just getting from A to B. And NIO CEO also stressed the importance of product cycle, mentioning how Tesla, they're kind of slow to launch newer products. Of course, they're still selling the current Model Ys, and even though they launched the new Model 3, those are only marginal small improvements, and it's undeniable they still sell really, really well. Their products are still very nice. However, of course, them being old means it's still using some of the last generation's tech. And the way I like to see things, all right, and this is going to draw some hate, I kind of see Tesla as BlackBerry and NIO as Apple, iPhones, so to speak. Of course, right now, lots of people use BlackBerries, just so to speak, all right? People used to use a lot of BlackBerries, and it used to be the thing, fairly high tech and lots of features as well, but then eventually they all get replaced by iPhones and these kind of smartphones with more established features. And that is also my opinion, all right? Just my opinion, sharing with you guys. So NIO's products, with the features that it offers, which is much more than what Tesla has. And of course, anytime Tesla launches a new feature, NIO is gonna, of course, pay attention to it, and they're also going to implement something similar. But on top of that, NIO has its own set of features for their products, and that's going to become much more industry standard. For example, battery swap with the Battery Swap Partnership Alliance is going to become an industry standard. So this is going to be very, very nice. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.